Hello, I'm Matteo, the Chief Mobile Opinionist at the Tech Travel Geeks, and this is the Tech Travel Geeks review of the Honor MagicBook 14 2020 edition. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks here on YouTube. Right then, this is the review of the Honor MagicBook 14. I've been using this as my main personal device for the last few weeks, and these are my personal impressions and my advice if you're considering purchasing one. Value for money, the Honor MagicBook 14 is great. Rather than a chunk of plastic, you get a well-built laptop, which is an aluminium unibody with really good detailing, such as these very attractive blue chamfered edges. You also get good battery life and decent performance. The performance comes from an AMD chipset that's a processor and a graphics card. There's 8GB of RAM, and the quad-core processor has multi-threading, which means that it's the equivalent of an octa-core chipset in terms of the applications you're running. So for doing things like editing video, especially if you're editing 4K video, it will perform a lot better than equivalent chipsets from the likes of Intel. I did use the Honor MagicBook 14 to edit a few of the recent Tech Travel Geeks drone videos. So if you haven't seen those, check out those on the Tech Travel Geeks YouTube channel. Those were edited on the device. It wasn't the fastest of exports, but it did the job really quite well. I've also used it for editing photos in Lightroom. I've used the Honor MagicBook 14 for watching a lot of video on Netflix using the Windows 10 application, as well as YouTube through the web browser. The battery life got me through most of a day. So in these conditions of lockdown, that means that it was between 8 and 9 hours of use. Mixed use between video, email, web browsing, and quite a lot of writing in local applications. So overall, performance is great, good build, and I was really impressed by the battery life overall, despite how much work I was doing on it. Now, moving on to the battery, it charges using USB Type-C. This is a really welcome addition to laptops recently, is the fact that we're moving from proprietary chargers on laptops to the standard, which is pretty much the same as the one we use on our standard smartphones, and that if you're traveling in the near future with something such as the Honor MagicBook 14, you might not need to carry all the chargers to all your devices, because your Honor MagicBook 14 is a USB Type-C charger with Type-C output, so you could plug that in to charge, say, your new Amazon tablet, your smartphone, maybe even your camera. So a really good thing there. The only downside to USB Type-C is that on the Honor MagicBook 14, its only USB Type-C port is on one side of the device, which means that it may be uncomfortable for charging in certain positions if your power supply is over on the right to you. Now, in terms of ports, apart from USB Type-C, which works both for charging and for data, so if you're going to be pairing something such as a pair of Honor Sport Pro earbuds, you just plug them in and they charge straight from it. And that can also be used for transferring data. Now, there's two USB Type-A ports, one on each side of the device, as well as a full HDMI output port and a full headphone jack. That's a 3.5mm audio jack. So really good connectivity in terms of the laptop. I would question the positioning of that, but it depends on what your use case is. So in terms of connectivity, you're covered by most things. Now, you have the usual array of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and other basic connectivity. One of the key features is also having NFC and the fact that the Honor MagicLink is there. This is essentially Honor's version of Huawei's one-hop connectivity solution. So if you have a recent Honor or Huawei smartphone, you tap it on the sticker on the right side of the handrest of the laptop, and it opens up MUI desktop mode, and it mirrors the screen of your phone on your laptop. So in Windows 10, this is a dedicated Honor connectivity solution, which allows you to remote control and use certain applications on your phone, on your laptop. Now, it's not all perfect, but it's really, really handy for some things. For example, for seeing when you have notifications, for using certain applications, but most importantly, being able to drag and drop files, for example, photos and videos from your phone or computer to the other device. So I did this whilst editing some drone videos, and it was really quite handy. I could take the drone videos from the DJI folder on my phone, drag them and drop them, and put them on the laptop. So I really like this feature. What Huawei and Honor have done with this is fantastic. I just wish to see it a bit more refined so I could use things like, say, messaging apps and being able to type properly within those apps. Not to worry. Overall, the performance of the Honor MagicBook 14 was great. The battery life was really good. Build was good. And I have to say, the screen is not a touch screen. It's a full HD screen. And in the conditions I was in, it performed really, really well. And I really like the fact that the screen has a matte finish. It's not a glossy finish. So it's less likely to get smudged, but more importantly, it has less reflections, and you don't need to keep the brightness cranked up all the time. Now, speaking of the screen, it's really impressive how Honor and their parent company, Huawei, have managed to reduce the bezels along the sides of the screen. It's really, really impressive. It makes the overall footprint of the device really quite small. Now, the downside to that is that Honor, with the MagicBook 14, have the selfie camera as a button in between the F's function 6 and function 7 buttons on the keyboard. You press that button and the selfie camera pops up. Now, whilst this is a really cool engineering solution to the problem, it is not very practical. When I work, and I do quite a few Skype and Zoom and Google Meet calls, I do type as I'm going through meetings or calls. I do multitask. I know that sounds strange for me, but I do actually do that. And that's not very good to see when on a video call. Not only that, I also use a stand on my desk to have it slightly angled higher up. And that means that the Honor MagicBook 14 really doesn't show off the more attractive sides of my chin. And not only that, if you have a big chunky USB microphone like myself, people won't see much of you anyway. So overall, the Honor MagicBook 14 is a really good device for the price. There are some drawbacks. There's a few things that could be improved. But for that price, you're getting a lot of value for money. And if you're someone who types a lot, the keyboard is comfortable, it works well. I'm really, really impressed with it. The device comes with Windows 10 as its operating system, so nothing really to shout out about there, apart from the Honor MagicLink improvements that have been added, and that functionality that really adds value if you have an Honor or Huawei smartphone. Overall, great device. I really look forward to seeing how the Honor MagicBook line of laptops works in the future. And more importantly, I hope that at some point we'll be able to take the Honor MagicBook 14 on a trip to be able to review it in real travel conditions. But for now, our takeaway is that the Honor MagicBook 14 is a great value device and seriously to be considered if your budget is within the £400 to £600 price range. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks here on YouTube. For now, thanks for watching and goodbye.